Good afternoon. So we have discussed till now about the definition of data mining as knowledge discovery process, and then we have come to classification and prediction, going through definition of classification and prediction. Then we have discussed about the two steps involved in a classification process, that is building the classifier or model, using the classifier or classification. Okay, then building the classifier model, how it actually works. We have gone through it with this example. Then using classifier for classification, where we are using those new data to have our data classified, with a very good example, that is the loan decision to be made by that loan manager, or you can say loan officer, that whether that is risky or safe. Okay, till now we have discussed these things. Training phase, you got to know that this is a part of what? Learning step. Then today we are going to discuss some important terms that you have to know while going for studying this data mining paper. Okay, some technical terms associated with data mining tasks. There are certain data types associated with data mining that actually tells us the format of the file, like whether it is in the text format or numerical format. And I hope you already know what is attribute. And attribute represents exactly features of an object, or you can say property of an object. Now, there exist different types of attributes. Okay, different types of attributes exist. We will try to discuss them. Then the first one that we frequently encounter is the binary type of attribute. So binary attribute possess two values, either true or false. This thing about from the term itself, it is clear it is binary, so it may be either yes or when it's true or false. Let's take an example. Suppose there is a survey of evaluating some product. We need to check whether it is useful or not. Then okay, just a minute. Because of the network connection, I have to share it again. So binary, what is that? Containing two values. Suppose you are staying in hostel, and there is a survey that whether hostel foods are good or bad. Okay, two options is there. Suppose 1 stands for good, 0 stands for bad. So only these two options are there. You need to pick any one of them. So upon the completion of the project, this means this survey, we got to know that depending on the number of ones or number of zeros, that whether the hostel food is good or bad. Yes. So that is again a binary type of attribute. Now, binary type of attribute again can be classified into symmetric or asymmetric type of attributes. Okay, बाइनरी एट्रीब्यूट को हम फिर से टू टाइप्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, आइदर सिमेट्रिक और एसिमेट्रिक. नाउ जो दो वैल्यू हैं, both if both values are equally important, then we will call it as a symmetric binary attribute. If both values may not be equally important, then we'll call it as an asymmetric attribute. আকৌ এবাৰ কৈছো যদি দুইটা ভ্যালু ইকুয়ালি ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট হয় তেন্তে আমি কম তাক symmetric attribute বুলি if two values are not equally important ठीक है किसी का ज्यादा वेटेज है और किसी का कम है तो उसे हम बोलेंगे क्या asymmetric attribute नाउ आप लोग मुझे बता सकते हो कि जो अभी एग्जांपल मैंने दिया है रिगार्डिंग द हॉस्टल फूड सर्वे is it falling under asymmetric attribute or symmetric attribute? Can anybody tell me? Well, I think you need time or you think and then reply me. So nominal, when more than two outcomes are possible, it is in alphabet form rather than being integer form. So nominal, this term is very important. Nominal attributes means दो से ज़्यादा outcome possible है और इसको हम maximum times we are using in alphabet. We are not using it in integer. Like you know the color of a rainbow, right? That will come falling under this nominal attribute. Color maybe you know yellow, green, black, red, blue, whatever the colors. So these colors will be an example of nominal attribute. Then qualitative and quantitative. So अभी जो हमने डिस्कस किया क्या क्या था बाइनरी बाइनरी में हमें क्या क्या मिला सिमेट्रिक और एसिमेट्रिक आप लोगों को मैंने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा क्या पूछा जो मैंने फूड सर्वे हॉस्टल फूड सर्वे का एग्जांपल दिया था कि आइदर फूड इज गुड और बैड ठीक है दो ऑप्शन था गुड और बैड तो आपको ये बताना था कि ये जो एट्रीब्यूट है सिमेट्रिक होगा या एसिमेट्रिक you have taken time and I think that you will take time and you will answer me. Then nominal हमने देखा एक से ज्यादा और मतलब सॉरी दो से ज्यादा आउटकम पॉसिबल है like the colors of a rainbow that is a nominal attribute. Then you have ordinal. Ordinal means values that must have some meaningful order. Ordinal का मतलब क्या है कि अगर कोई एक पार्टिकुलर ऑर्डर को हम मेंटेन करके चलते हैं तो उसे हम ऑर्डिनल बोलते हैं like your grades suppose there are grade sheets of few students which might contain different grades as per their performance like A B C D अब ये जो A B C D सबका अलग अलग weightage है okay this all A B C D having different weightage so as the values have some particular order like A is the best performing grade, then B suppose better, C suppose good, and D is suppose bad, like that. So we need to arrange in that way. That will not come like that. After C, A will come, or suppose after D, B will come. This is not the case. Okay, so ordinal attributes always follow some meaningful order. I hope it is clear. Then similarly, we have continuous attribute. This may have infinite number of values in float type. X, for example, measuring weight of few students in a sequence like or orderly manner like 50, 51, 52, 53. Weight is 50, 51, 52, 53. So this may have infinite number of values. It's not the case that this is only the values. This may be infinite in number. Okay. Generally, we use it in float. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि आपका weight जो है 50 means 50 ही मिल जाएंगे. Okay. The case may be like you have 60.9, 55.8 like that. So that's it. We use float type. Now coming to the next one, that is discrete. Discrete means finite number of values, like marks of a student in few subjects, 65, 70, 75, 80, 90. So these values are what? Finite. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि मैं आप लोगों को बोल दूं कि आप लोगों को 200 सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ के 9 सेमेस्टर क्लियर करना है. दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट, राइट? और आपके पास इन्फिनाइट नंबर ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट्स होना चाहिए, राइट? That is also not possible. So discrete means when there is the word finite is associated. When the finite word is associated, then that becomes discrete. And good example is that. So question may be coming in your semester exam that give example for each of these attributes like symmetric, asymmetric, nominal, ordinal, continuous, discrete. We have discussed everything here. So I hope that you now able to answer this question. Okay, this is just a simple syntax, mathematical notation. Classification is based on building a function, taking input factor x and predicting its outcome y. Now classifier is used, यहाँ मैंने एक word use किया हूँ, supervise. I hope you have attended my lectures in machine learning in your 6th step. There I told you that there actually we have different types of learning like supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning. But I particularly told you at the time, I suppose so, that supervised and unsupervised ones are frequently encountered by us, right? So classifications falling under supervised machine learning model. And this classification has some level, like for the example that we have just discussed a few minutes back, that is yes or no. Okay. Now, classifiers can be categorized into two major types. First one is discriminative. Discriminative was the very basic classifier. It just determines one class for each row of data, tries to model just by depending on the observed data, and it depends heavily on quality of the data rather than distribution. सबसे जो simple classifier है वो क्या है आपका? Discriminative, okay? And it tries to determine one class for every row of data. आप लोगों ने machine learning पेपर में भी प्रैक्टिकल किया था, तो देखा था कि कैसे हम लोगों ने वो डेटा को row wise represent किया था, right, from the array. Then sorry, from the matrix, then it tries to model depending on the observed data. ये जो discriminative है, it works on the quality rather than the quantity. A very famous algorithm we do have falling under this discriminative type is logistic regression. Okay, logistic regression is what? A discriminative type, and here we try to determine the class level for each row. And about this, we'll discuss in the next class in detail. Let me admit her. For today, the questions that I have given, go through them, and that's sufficient for today. Thank you.